Hello, this is Christiane Piano, and welcome to your reset. This week's reflection is on Oops, I did it again. When it comes to growth, it is so not a linear process. And more often than not, it's one or two steps forward, a couple steps back, rest there in the middle, take more steps forward, even more steps back, and find yourself in peaks and valleys, ups and downs, ins and outs, and this can prove challenging, especially if we don't take moments and if we don't have people who remind us when we forget that there's no such thing as constant and consistent progress. We get lost and then we pop through again. Life will have its ebbs and flows. When life feels challenging, it's often a moment offered up, even though it may not feel that way, to reflect back on our growth, on our own evolution. So if you think about your own growth, how often do you pause and just take a moment to look at how far you've come? You see, growth, as I've said before in previous episodes, it doesn't happen on our timeline, and it rarely looks like what we had anticipated or thought or matches the picture in our mind. And so when we adopt a way of being in which we are willing to show up in every moment and realize that it's not about the outcome. It's all the possibilities and openings, unexpected turn of events that offer up new ways for us just to discover how resilient we are. And when it comes to growth, it's not linear, it's messy, it's circular, it gets knotted, it gets stucky, it gets uncomfortable. Growth is often very not comfortable, but it can also be joyful and wonderful and easeful. It has so many different flavors. And when it comes to growing on an ontological level, you're working at a level that goes beneath all of your identities. It goes beneath all of your coping skills, all of the band-aids you may employ. And it gets to your way of being. And people will come and go in this process. Because your world, the way it appears to you, will shift. And you will naturally find yourself showing up differently. It's not like you'll have decided or applied a positive mindset or force of will. There's really nothing controlled about it. If anything, there's more of a learning to trust that whatever life is offering up, there are lessons there. And when you learn particular lessons, then the next lesson pops up. There's usually a phase in between where you get some respite. So depending on your relationship to yourself and life, you will begin to equate whatever's coming at you in the day, whatever you're experiencing, as feedback. as fertility for your own growth, fertilizer. Often when I speak to clients, they're blown away when I have spent a lot of time listening to all that they're challenged by, and I say to you, oh, you are in such a fertile space. It may not feel that way, but when I say a fertile space, it means there's great deep shifts happening at the root level. If you even have a minimal amount of awareness regarding yourself and your experience of life, you will find that you have repeating behaviors. You find yourself repeatedly searching for a new strategy, coping mechanisms. You'll find yourself saying and doing things that you thought you had graduated from. And this can prove frustrating. But frustration is nothing more than wishing things were different than they actually are in reality. And there is a need to cultivate compassion, patience, persistence, and a willingness every time you find yourself saying, oops, I've done it again, that you just start again. You're completely and totally responsible for who you're being. And with that comes a need to cultivate awareness. Once you've gained awareness around whatever is repeating itself that is not supportive of the path of growth you are on, well then, after the awareness has been developed, you can begin the voyage, the deep work within to get to the root of it. It takes time. It requires pauses, a slowing down, time out for reflection. But if you are invested, you will begin to realize that every time you find yourself doing something again, it's just par for the course. It's feedback in real, live time. Growth happens on its own timeline. And if you're constantly focused on the end game, you miss out on all the adventure in the growth process. When you least expect it, you'll have a pop through. Small shifts and changes lead to big shifts. And you have your whole life. So what's important is that when you've gotten lost, when you've forgotten, when you've been swept up by the wave of whatever drama has been going on, once you're aware that that has happened, you re-engage and you show up again. There's persistence. There will be moments of disappointment. There will be a need to cultivate discipline, dedication, sacrifice. There will be failures. It's hard work. But we don't learn from our successes. It feels good, it's great, it's wonderful. We learn most from our failures, from falling down. And every time something doesn't work out the way we anticipated or thought, it's an opportunity for learning. What's important is also to cultivate a sense of deep trust that all is working out as it's meant to, even if at the moment you don't understand it. You see, if every time you feel like you are regressing, it's important to remember you're not going back to ground zero, to where you used to be. Instead, you're having opportunities to face your fears, develop resilience, discover how much your inner strength has increased. And whenever you're beginning again, you're beginning from a new baseline. And when you begin again, you can begin again from moment to moment. Each morning is a table rase, a blank slate, a fresh start. Each week, each month, each year, each season of your life. Discovering, oops, I've done it again, is none other than a sign that you're ready for the next level of traveling towards that route that's creating whatever keeps repeating itself. If you think about it in your life, what do you keep repeating that you know is not supportive, is not life-giving? Where are you investing your energy and time that in the long run, although it may be bringing some temporary relief, is not going to bring you towards whatever you envision that is possible for yourself? And at the same time, remembering that our little me's can't possibly imagine what is truly possible for ourselves. This one and precious life provides opportunities to begin again and again from moment to moment. And to support you in doing that, ground into your body, into your bones, into your breath. Nice, tall, long spine. Sometimes it's simple as allowing yourself to smile. Oops, I did it again. Have a little chuckle. See the humanity. Develop compassion for yourself, responsibility, but yet not taking it so seriously. Sometimes you just need a big hug, or a talk with a friend, or a walk in nature, or a delicious meal, or give yourself permission to take a nap, take a break, unplug. Be good to yourself. Because when you learn to be good to yourself, when you learn that, oops, I did it again, is par for the course, if you can develop compassion for yourself and use this and these experiences as feedback for whatever is going on for you, fertilizer, then you'll be able to do that for others in your life. So wherever you are, whatever's going on, spring is a wonderful season to begin to take a look at where you feel stuck and use the energy of a season of blossoming to begin to awaken at new levels, whatever that looks like for you. I do hope you have found listening to this reflection supportive. I look forward to hearing from you when you share with me what did resonate for you. And please feel free to share this with anyone who you think this may be supportive of. Like or follow so more people will have access to this conversation.